In my mind, Russia was like, oh, it's pretty good option. Yeah, it was amazing. The first ever snow was amazing. And people are like, students who wanted to come to Russia, they were like, oh, we are so afraid to come to Russia because of the situation. And I kept on saying there is no problem, because if there is any problem, I shouldn't be staying here. I lost my passport one time here in Russia. Freaking sorry. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm Fida Fathima. I'm coming from India and I'm doing medicine as a major here in Russia, like in Sechenov, in English medium. For this answer, you have to go back to my childhood. During my schooling, I was most interested in science subjects. Then I realized the pathway to achieve my goals is to go for medicine, study medicine. So that's how I decided to become a doctor. The most reason I choose this because the respect you get for this profession from the society. In India, it's like for the parents. If they have a child, they will be like either engineering or doctor. There's no in between. It's like typical Indian parents' mentality, and also the students, like also the children, they want either to become a doctor or engineer or something like that. First thing is the affordability. The Russian education is more affordable, especially medicine. Because in India, even if you clear the entrance examination to get into the college, it's so hard and there is a lot of priorities for different people. There's a caste system. Do you know about that? In religion, caste kind of thing? Yeah, it's widely in India, and the people get admission according to that. Even if you get more marks, you won't get into the college. Maybe the student who got less marks than you might get into the college. Even if you are willing to pay money, the fee is huge. They will ask you millions. Basically, that's the thing. People who want to study medicine and they can't afford there, they will just come to Russia or wherever they can find affordable education. That's the first thing, affordability. And the second one is actually the quality of education, obviously, because more options of universities is here in Russia with quality and standards of medicine. They keep the standards. That's what I felt so far. And the past achievements and contribution in science from Russian scientists and professors, these are the qualities I felt when coming to Russia. I felt it's attractive things to for a student who is looking to study abroad. Yeah. My first university was Mordovin State University, NP Agro Mordovin State University. It comes under MGO, I think. This was actually through one of my family friends. She was studying in I don't remember the name of the university, but she was studying in Russia, some part of Russia, and I got the contact of the consultancy there. I got the admission through them. So I kind of never did any kind of research before coming to Russia. That's how it went. I was rooting for Indian Medical Council, like the entrance examination for Indian medicine. But unfortunately, I couldn't get into any college in India because the management quota and the fee for management seat was humongous. So I didn't do that. And the second options I got was abroad. And I got few options like China, Russia, Ukraine, Georgia. Like there was a lot of options. Russia stood like better than others, like in my mind, not anything else, but in my mind Russia was like, oh, it's pretty good option. And I liked snow before before coming to Russia. I was like, oh, it's almost winter there, but I cleared the NEET. It is compulsory now. You have to clear NEET examination before coming to Russia. So I cleared the NEET in order to get into Indian college, but I couldn't get into Indian college, so I chose Russia. But I didn't do any kind of preparation before coming, but because I got the admission through one of my family friend. I was like, okay, my parents were convinced because our family is there, like it's not a problem. So yeah, that's how I went. I only cleared the NEET. That was the only preparation I did, and it is the preparation for NEET in India is really competitive. I did my coaching for like 1 year, almost 1 year. I was away from home. I was studying day and night. That's how competitive the Indian entrance examination is. So I did pretty good in that, but unfortunately I couldn't get. So I came here with my NEET results, and that's how it went. And I wasn't pretty much prepared about coming here, but yeah, I just came. The first impression was amazing, and I was it was there was a little bit of difficulties actually. Particularly, I have to say the climatic zone, like it's really different from India. So it was a little bit harsh on my health in the first few months because I was so allergic to pollens. And when I arrived in Russia, it was during the pollen kind of time, like in the summertime. It was okay in the first month, then it got like a little bit tackly, but I got adapted very fast. I got so fastly adapted to the winter and the snow and everything. No, actually, about that, my mom, she is like very strict when it comes to education and studying. I was waiting to come here. There was 1 month gap there. So she was like, do something, study something, at least just study the letters, alphabets. And I was like, okay, just because of her, I just studied the alphabets, and it helped me like a lot, like literally a lot. And I was shining in the first year of my Russian language because I know the letters, at least I know how to read. I catch up faster than other students because my mom made me learn this alphabets. Yeah, I just knew the alphabets. That's it. Nothing other than that. Actually, I experienced my first ever snow here in Russia. My whole life, I was waiting for this moment, and when this happened, I was in my, I think, chemistry lab, and our professor was like, "Oh, it's you guys, it's snowing outside," and we went to the window and snowing, and she was like, "Make a wish because that's how there's a tradition to wish something during the first snow, right?" She said like that, and I was like, okay, that's how it was amazing. And yeah, it was amazing. The first ever snow was amazing. You might know the Moldovan state is like 600 kilometers away from Moscow. Whenever you go to India and when you come back from India, it's really hard to travel. After reaching here, you have to travel to the railway station. From there, you have to take the train. It's 9 to 10 hours journey with luggage, baggage. Oh my God, it was the hardest part ever. I felt exhausted every time when I traveled to here and there, and I lost my passport one time here in Russia. So at that time I was in Mordovia. I couldn't get into the get into contact with the Indian embassy here in Moscow because I have to travel from there without my passport. You know, here in Russia, you need your passport to travel anywhere. So I lost my passport. I needed to go to the police station, file the complaint, and get some certificates from there. And it was the horrible experience I had in Russia. It's my fault, not anybody else's. At that moment, I felt like, oh my God, it's the worst part because, you know, if it's a medical emergencies, you can think, right? You can imagine how hard it is to get back from Mordovia to the Moscow. If there is no any flights, you have to travel through the railway. and it will take almost 9 to 10 hours to reach here. So it's the hardest part for me. And also, when I saw Moscow for the first time, I wanted to study here in Moscow itself, and I didn't knew the Mordovia was this far from Moscow. I thought it's like nearby 2 hours journey might be, but then I realized after reaching here it's a little bit far, and it's a small place and small city, but it's good, and university is good, the people are good, everything is fine. But for me personally, I wanted to study in a good university, like one of the best universities. I wanted to be there. When I saw Moscow few times, I wanted to like, if I get a chance, I'm gonna transfer to Moscow. If I get a chance, that was always in my mind. And all of a sudden, during the COVID situation, I got a chance to transfer. And at that moment, the transfer committee was only open to the RUDN University. Huge amount of help was from Global Education Consultancy. They helped to get into RUDN. During that process, it was really hard to get the documents because there was quarantine during the COVID situation. Everything was locked down, and the traveling and everything was difficult. And I almost went through a depression. So it was really hard for me, but somehow I did the transfer, and from RUDN to Sechenov, because in RUDN, they they don't care about your mental health or anything. They just, even if you study very well, even if you really do your best, some teachers, like only couple of two teachers in RUDN, they will make you suffer. They will make you suffer. I don't know why they're doing that, because we already, as a medical student, you have a lot of stress in your head. But they will put a lot of more stress from their part, and they just fail you no matter what. I can't take one more chance of losing a year, like I can't lose one more year, because I did lose one during my transfer. So I can't lose one more year. And also, one more thing was, when I transferred from Mordovia, I cleared my topographical anatomy and all other subjects there. But when I reached in RUDN, a topographical anatomy teacher told me and my friend, you have to do the exam, like final examination of topographical anatomy again. I was like, we cleared that exam already in our past university, then why is the need of doing it again? And he was like, because you don't have enough credits. But the thing is, like in Moldovan State University and here, there is a little bit of difference in the hours. When you compare these hours, it's more in Mordovia, but it's in a different name. So a lot of my friends transferred to Sechenov. So I was thinking, okay, why should I take this much stress for a single subject? So I convinced my parents. It was the hardest part, but I somehow, they were always there for me. So they just like, okay, you don't have to stress this much because you already gone through a lot. So whatever you feel like, do whatever makes your future better. About the Sechenov, it's the oldest medical university in Russia, and it's a medical university basically. If you pass the exams and if you graduate from Sechenov, there is a lot of other European universities and Middle Eastern universities in how can I say, collaborative kind of connection, and it will help me a lot because I am rooting in that way. So I felt like, okay, why not? So that's how I did the transfer to the Sechenov, and Global did the works for me, the transfer and every procedure. Yes, I have few Russian friends here, and they are the kindest and sweetest people I have met so far here in Russia. They were a huge help during my hostel days. During the quarantine, I was with them, and they helped me in a lot of ways. They helps me with the Russian when I have some difficulties. They always there for help. I don't think it's really hard to make friends in a foreign country, especially here. To be honest, it's not that difficult. People from to make new friends, since people from different countries and cultures are welcome here in Russia. Everyone can do their things. No one's gonna judge you by anything you do. That's what I love about Russia, because everywhere you can be you, practice your religion, your culture. No one's gonna do anything to you, because that's how I felt so far. There is a stereotype like Russians are rude. You know about that? Do you know about that? Yeah, that's how the people think, but it's totally different. I'm a part-time content creator in Instagram. So I do make contents in YouTube and Instagram. It's like my kind of, entertainment. I can say that. Most of the time, if I get a free time after the classes, I just sleep. That's how I spend my days, because you know how hard it is for a medical student. But I do go out with my friends. There is a lot of beautiful places in Moscow. I love Moscow because every corner of Moscow is so attractive. And my favorite is Vitinka and Pavlovskaya, and there is Arbat and city center, etc. I will keep on going. So yeah, those are few of my favorites. In one word, yes, it is safe, because so far I have never felt any kind of problems, any kind of issues from Russia. I traveled to Sochi, I traveled to Mordovia, I traveled few places, and I have never felt any kind of problems. I don't know what's it about, because I never felt this much safety in my home country. And also nowadays I get a lot of questions from my followers asking, how is the war in Russia? Is it are you suffering from the war situation? I was here during the war started. During the war started, I was here. I get to know that the war is happening from my mother from India. She called me like, "Oh my God, what is happening? Are you safe?" And I was like, "What is happening? I don't know." It's like, "Yeah, war is going on, but we have no problem at all. We are perfectly fine." And she was like, "The media is showing this, that, and everything. So we are so afraid." And I was like, nothing like that is happening here in Russia. It's happening in Ukraine. That's the thing. The people think that it's happening in Russia, inside the Russia. They don't have the idea that this is happening in Ukraine or the part of Ukraine. I already told this in my YouTube channel, and whenever I get a chance, I talk about this, because a lot of consultancies, other like inside Russia, no, but outside the Russia, they are making this misinformation saying Russian degrees are not valid anymore. You can't get a job with the Russian degrees. You can't pay the fee and you can't do the transactions. And people are like, students who wanted to come to Russia, they were like, "Oh, we are so afraid to come to Russia because of the situation." And I kept on saying, there is no problem, because if there is any problem, I shouldn't be staying here. I wouldn't be here. I will be going somewhere at that moment, because my parents are so concerned about my safety. If they are okay to send their only child to Russia to study, then why are you so scared to do that? Because that's how the image the consultancies are giving to the people who doesn't know, who doesn't have any kind of views about the Russian situation. My advice is like, for students, I want to say, you have to do your own research before coming to, like, it doesn't matter whether it's Russia or any other country. If you're going abroad for studies, you have to do your own research. Do your own research on universities and the opportunities in the city of the university where the university is situated, and the safety and the facilities and the faculties, whatever you can, because nowadays it's really easy to get the information from the internet. Like, you have to make sure the information you're getting from the internet is true also. And for the foreigners who want to live or just travel in Russia, I need to say it's safe. You can travel, you can see the places here in Russia because Russia is huge and there is a lot of beautiful places. So you don't have to back off because of the war issues and everything, because it's safe to travel. So you can do your itinerary and come here and do your things and visit. Russia is beautiful and you have to visit it. I don't have a clear picture, but I do have plans. First thing is I need to clear the next examination. It's the examination you need to give in order to do the internship and your PG and further studies and work in India after graduating from Russia. Anywhere after graduating from abroad, you have to come to India and do this examination. It's right now it's called Foreign Medical Graduate Examination, short form FMGE, but it's gonna change in the coming year, so it's going to be next. So the next examination, and after that, along with that, I am looking forward to UKMLA. UKMLA, it's like UK entrance examination for the higher studies, like for my PG and internship there. Yeah, so either you like India and then UK. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Of course. And there is in RUDN and Sechenov, they are giving coaching along with, and they are giving assistance to do your higher studies after the graduation, along with your course, like during your medical course. Yeah. I somehow ended up here. I'm so grateful for that because I have my up and downs of this medical journey. But right now, at the present, I'm happy. Try to get a clear picture of what you are getting into. Either it's a course or a work or to live in another country. Just get a clear image of what you are getting into and be prepared mentally to face little struggles, and be patient and trust the process of your journey.